Roxo Media House.
The surge in his head. Former head coach David Bowden brings his football expertise to Frog fans everywhere in Dissecting the Frogs.
Welcome into Dissecting the Frogs. We have a really special edition today. This is our TCU Football Junior Day, and we're joined by a few special guests as well that just got over. They spent the day at TCU Football. We're going to get into that, see how, get their reaction to their day and how they enjoyed it, and get into a little bit about who these guys are. So start off here, we got Dozie Ezukama, right?
Yes, sir.
I said, okay, I want to make sure I got that right. Kevin and Dougie Dodard. So the guys are twins here as well, and we're going to talk about these guys. You were at. We'll get into you guys first here, Kevin and Dougie. You guys were at Lake Country, just got to All Saints Episcopal, right?
Yes, sir.
Here in town, and Dozie, you're at the same high school now. You came over from Timber Creek, right in Keller.
Sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
good. But you're all at TCU today, and I want to kind of get into that and talk about your experience. So you were with Malcolm Kelly, the wide receiver coach for the day. Dozie, you're a wide receiver. You're an athlete. You can do it all. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. And Dougie, you're a wide receiver as well. So you guys were with Malcolm Kelly. Tell us a little bit about, start with you, Dozie, your experience. Have you had a relationship with Coach Kelly prior to today, or was today the first time you met?
Yes, sir. I seen Kelly during the summer when I came in there for a workout, and he offered me. And it was great getting to see him again and just catch up on what we were talking about and what we're planning on.
That's awesome. How about you guys?
We met Coach Kelly when he came and visited All Saints campus. That was the first time we met him, and then he reached out to us and invited us to come to the junior day with Dozie.
Okay, great. So your day to day, what are some things you did on campus today, and things you got to see, maybe some things you didn't know about TCU that you learned today?
First, we got to go in the lounge and play some games, and then we walked down with the coach, seen around the campus a little bit. And we got to eat with coaches, and we went down to the locker room, checked it out, and it was a great experience.
Okay. So as receivers, we'll start with on the outside here. We're going to get into you're more of a defensive guy, but you play both sides. Talk to me a little about your game. Who would you say, if you had to look at an NFL wide receiver right now, somebody that you model your game after, or describe kind of how you are on the football field?
I would say I like Devontae Adams a lot because he can play inside and out, and he's a guy who can win one-on-one battles and win off the line. So I would say that, and I could just say I'm a type of player that can take over a game, and also I don't drop often, and I just make plays.
I like it. How about you, Dozie?
I say George Pickens. Okay. I know he's young, but I like his play style, and I say we can relate on a lot of aspects of the game.
Sure. No, it's good. And both those guys, much what I know about the two of you is that you guys are versatile, right? You can line up in different spots to create matchups. That's really what the game has turned to, both in the NFL, and that's trickled down to college and high school now. It's really a game of matchups and getting you the best matchups and be able to do versatile, not just line up in the same spot all the time, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that something you're both comfortable with, I'm assuming?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they did a really nice job at TCU. I'm sure you watched. Did you get a chance to watch TCU at all this year, and kind of give me your reaction to what they did with the Quentin Johnsons and Darius Davis and those guys throughout the year? Tell me a little bit about, obviously I know it's a new offense coordinator now, but just Coach Dykes' philosophy when it comes to having versatile players and creating those mismatches.
Yeah, I like how he moves around his best receivers all the time just for great matchups and just better positioning, and he gives them a shot down the field. And wherever they are, gives them a chance to make plays all around the field.
No, final offensive question for you guys. Did you get into at all sort of how the offense might look a little bit different under new offense coordinator Kendall Briles? Did they get into that at all today, or is that something that they didn't really cover?
We didn't really touch on that yet.
Yeah. Okay, all right, but similar philosophy in terms of he's obviously has experience getting playmakers the ball, getting him the ball in space, right? Spreading the field that 53rd and a third, making sure they utilize every inch of that, not only vertically but horizontally. Does a really nice job of that and tempo, right? Get the ball, and the more plays you have, the more points you can score, which is always nice, right?
Yes,
well, good. Well, let's get into you a little bit on the defensive side because Kevin, you were the national leader in interceptions last
Yes,
year as a junior.
Junior, yes, sir. 12 interceptions.
12 interceptions.
Yes,
So how do you even find out at the high school level that you have a national that you own that?
So one day I was just looking on Max Preps and I was logging my interceptions because I knew I had a lot. So I would have my coach plug in my stats, and then when I added up at the end of the season, I realized I was at the top.
That's fantastic. That was from your safety position, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I know you're an athlete. You're being recruited as an athlete.
Yes, sir.
What do you see your best fit, though, for you in terms of the next level?
As far as the next level, I feel like I could play slot receiver and safety or even corner because I'm pretty good in coverage. And slot receiver, I like getting the ball in my hands, screen plays, and stuff like that.
Excellent.
Yes,
I'm going to kind of go down the list as we wrap up here, and just two questions for each of you. For you, why is TCU on the list, and why are they in the mix right now? One, and then two, tell me a little bit about. I'm going to go down each one of you. We'll start with you down here, Dougie. Is tell me kind of a timeline of your recruiting. When you want to whittle things down, make a decision, and sort of commit and put all this behind you. Is it something you want to do, before your senior year, or are you going to kind of let it play out? Start with you, Dougie.
Yes, sir. TCU for me, it's like near home, so like obviously that would be a good thing, and like them being competitive in the national championship also is a huge thing. And then as far as recruiting goes, right now during spring it should pick up a lot. I've met with a bunch of coaches, like they visited the school, so probably like before senior season, it's probably when.
Okay, good. Kevin, you?
Around the same for me. Should pick up in the spring. I would like to commit before senior season so I can get that out of the way. Just focus on having a good senior season. And TCU, like he said, close to home, close to family, so I'd love to be close.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
What about you, Dozy?
Yes, sir. I'm looking to have a great spring and get as many offers as possible so I can put it on the table. But yeah, TCU it's a great school, and it's definitely on the top of my list. And I'm looking to commit maybe around summertime before my senior season.
Yeah, I think it's nice. I think you guys are smart and trying to take that approach. It doesn't always work out that way, but it's nice to be able to just focus on your senior year, enjoy it with your friends, and hopefully go and win a championship, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, good. Well, listen, I enjoyed you guys, and you guys are welcome here in studio anytime, and we wish you luck, and hopefully you're wearing purple in a couple of years.
Yes,
but wish you luck either way, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, good. Well, make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of guys drop by from Junior Day, and when we get back, maybe even a quarterback who was on campus today. Stay tuned.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Welcome back into Dissecting the Frogs. We are here with a talented cornerback from Atascocita High School in Humble, Texas, just outside of Houston. Braylon Conley joins us. Just got it back from Junior Day, and we appreciate you coming by, Braylon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about you. I'm assuming you're with Coach Buckles today. Spent some time with him, and
Yes,
tell us a little bit about your day during Junior Day and how things went for you.
Today was great. I got to spend a lot of time with Coach Buck. Got to know the defense. He taught me some of their coverages and stuff, and I really like Coach Buck as a person. I feel like he's a great coach.
Yeah, we hear that constantly about Coach Buckles and really this staff as a whole, where guys come back and say, hey, look, they know football, obviously, but they really care about us as people, right? Is that in this recruiting process, is that something that you feel is important, the relationship side of things? And I'm sure it's important to your family as well.
Yes, sir. I feel like relationships go a long way. I feel like that's one of the most important things in this recruiting thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, the amount of time you spend with one another in football, you're always going to face some adversity, right? And so you need to be able to lean on people that you can trust and have a positive relationship with. I think that goes a long way. And you talked about the defense. I'm going to jump into that quickly if I could. I know this is a defense that wants to pressure more than they have, right? And with that, they've got to play some man-to-man. And I know they're looking for some guys that can lock down some really talented receivers in the Big 12. So is that something that you relish, that you say, hey, look, I want to put me on your best receiver and play man-to-man, or would you rather sit back in zone and do some things? What are you more comfortable with?
I'm more comfortable with whatever you throw at me, but I would rather press and play man, and follow the best receiver. That was my job this past year. I feel like I did a great job doing it.
That's good. I think all the best cornerbacks say the same thing, right? Put me on your best receiver, let me play man-to-man and see what he got.
Yeah.
As an athlete, what do you think you bring to the table that is like so TCU has to have you?
As far as an athlete, off the field, I would say my academics. I feel like I'm great in the classroom.
We like that.
On the field, I feel like my IQ is like top level. I feel like I know stuff that other people wouldn't know before the play even happens.
Give me an example.
I would say like certain motions. I'm sure I could change the coverage into a coverage that I know would defeat the play.
We saw Abe Kamara do that in the season. That's kind of your thing. Yeah, okay, I like it.
Other things is for a corner, you don't see the corners be as aggressive and open field tacklers, but I feel like I'm a great tackler at open field like that.
I like it.
Speaking of those corners, did you get a chance to meet any guys or Trey Hodges-Tomlinson or Josh Newton or any of the current
No,
corners?
sir, I didn't get a chance to meet any of them today.
How about watch them? Did you get to see them at all during the TCU's run at all this year? No. Well, there were two really good, corners. Obviously, Trey has announced and declared for the NFL draft, so I know that spot's open on that side, which is nice. And Josh Newton's a guy who came over. He was at University of Louisiana Monroe, but talked similarly the way you did, and just said, "Hey, I found a home here, right?" And really loves it. And so I think from a football and off the field perspective, I think it makes a lot of sense. Braylon, tell us a little bit about this recruiting process for you. I know it can get overwhelming. How do you kind of block out the noise and focus? We know you're a good student, obviously really talented on the field, but that takes up a lot of your time. And this recruiting process is as well. How do you block that stuff out and stay focused on the important stuff?
Trying to ignore the recruiting. I mean, you got to pay attention to it, but I try to just stay a kid. Being a kid, you try to focus on it and be too business. You get overwhelmed, you get stressed. So I just try to stay a kid as much as possible.
That's great. You only get to be a kid once, so enjoy it and soak it up. That's good stuff.
I like that, absolutely. I want to go back to the academic thing for a second. What do you know? Do you know what your major would be?
I'm doing engineering, but I'm trying to figure out if I want to do mechanical or electrical.
Nice.
Are you kidding?
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You were not lying about being smart. Oh my God.
Well, that's good. Well, you'll have a full plate. And the good thing is, I think a lot of times people outside of athletics don't understand that, being an athlete, you have all this, obviously all this time that you devote to the sport, but really it helps you in academics rather than hurts you. I think, in terms of time management and making sure that you're focused and driven, where kids get hurt in college, in my opinion, is having too much time on their hands, right? And all of a sudden, you look up, it's 11 o'clock, you haven't opened a book yet, and you're scrambling, right? So I think it's great having a big time major like that, playing big time college football would be good. Lastly, before we wrap up here, Brendan, what is your timeline as you look at things and kind of trying to whittle schools down to say 5 or so, or I don't know how you're going to go about it, or when you'd like to commit?
We haven't really looked at like a set date. We've thought about it, but we don't really have a timeline. It's still pretty early. We're still filling out relationships and everything with different schools.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a smart way of doing it, and that way you don't put any added pressure on yourself, right? Why is I lied to you and said it was the last question because I'm kind of curious. You got a good day today. Tell me why TCU though is in the mix right now. What is it about TCU?
I feel like I love the people. The people around are great people. You got Coach E, you got Coach Dykes, Coach Buck. I love Coach Buck. I love being around Coach Buck.
Nice. Yes, I love it. Well, good. Well, we enjoy being around you today and hope that you can come back and join us. Hopefully, again, it's continuing to wear purple, right?
Yes,
and at TCU here as well. And we'd love to have you come by the studio anytime. You're always welcome here, Braylon.
Yes, sir.
Really impressive young man, and thank you for joining us today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see the shoes, but the shoes are incredible. I just needed a shot of them themselves. I love it.
I'm jealous. I don't have that kind of shoe game. So, well, good. Well, stay with us. We're going to have more when we come back from this break.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
Welcome back into Dissecting the Frogs. We have the final segment here. We got some special guys. All came over across DFW from Lancaster High School, and really a pleasure to be joined by these guys. And we'll start off with really something special for me. Kewan Lacey, running back from Lancaster, a guy that I know and love. And so really good to have you here as well. We've got DB and a wide receiver here as well. So Messiah Boulier is here joining us, and the defensive back in Jabrandon Henderson, right? Okay, good. I want to make sure I got names right, and we're good to go. So today you just got back from junior day. You hung back, got a chance to, Kewan, you say you hung back and talked to Coach Dykes for a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about the day. We'll start with you. Things that you went through today, got to see, maybe a little bit about TCU, something you didn't know, and then how things went with Coach Dykes to close things out.
Okay. So some things I didn't know about TCU is they had a #1 business, and like the different opportunities they have, and like that,
In the business school?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. So you're looking after college, long term. Everyone's playing career comes to an end at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if those guys that make it to the league, we talk about that all the time. Everyone sees the guy with a 12-year NFL career, that sort of thing. That's the exception, right? The norm is the average in the NFL, even if you do make it, is 3.2 years, right? And so you got to have a life set up for you that's as exciting as football is. So when you look at business, it sounds like you want to make a lot of money. Is that it? Okay, well, that's
invest into the city and my people. So
that's great. No, I love to hear it. And how about for you guys? What is something that you learned? We'll start with you, Jabrandon. Just something that you learned about TCU.
Just like he said, like having the #1 business. That's something that I want to do after, like own my own business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a business guy as well?
Business, but like education too. So like like you said, they got like a top education program and stuff like that.
Got it.
Like for after football.
I love it. So but all out kind of business minded. So I know who I'm going to hit up for a loan after years from now. I know who to go to. That's good. Yeah. That's good. I like it. So Kewan, you got a chance to talk to Coach Dykes here at the end. How did that go for you?
it went good. We just talk about the future and how young they were and how next year is gonna be even better and it's gonna keep getting better and better, and how how good the environment is and the people around them and people outside of football.
Sure. So you're a guy, did you get a chance to watch TCU at all this year? Did you get to see, as a running back, did you get to watch Kendre Miller? And so the year that he had, he's declared for the NFL draft. But you're a guy, your game actually reminds me, very similar, downhill guy, runs with powerful high knees, that sort of things, gets downhill. Did you get a chance to see him at all this year?
Mm-hmm. I saw him against Baylor. Then I saw Michigan. Then the big game.
Sure. Were you at the Baylor game?
No, I wasn't at the Baylor game.
It's a pretty exciting finish, though, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, good. And did you guys get a chance to visit with the position coaches today on campus?
Yeah, we just seen the running back coach.
Running back coach.
Okay. Coach Jones.
Yeah. Coach Jones. Yeah.
So Coach Jones, I don't know if you talk about his history with guys that he's coached, but. They tell you about the number of guys he put in the NFL. It's a pretty long list in a short amount of time. Yeah, he has. He certainly has. Well, that's good. Tell me about this recruiting process can get overwhelming. And Kewan, your mom and I were just talking off camera just about how it comes at you so fast, and then the different coaches changes and all that kind of stuff. I'll start with you and we'll go down the list. But starting with Kewan, tell me a little bit about how you've been able to focus on the important stuff, right? Just sort of ignore the noise and focus on your schoolwork, being a great teammate, being a great son and brother and all that sort of thing, and being a good football player. How do you do that with all, things coming at you so fast?
I just try to stay focused, not let that get to my head. I got to stay humble. I still got a long way before I even get to that point. So, I'm just trying to win 16 games first in high school and, have fun my last year in high school. I
love it. And you know what? For those who don't know, Kewan has an older brother, Gerald, who's committed to Stephen F. Austin, really talented safety. Has he helped you with that, kind of keep you grounded a little bit? I know you guys are super competitive. But
of course, he helped me all 4 years of his high school career, So it's been a blessing seeing him, being able to chase his dreams, going to Stephen F. Austin. So
yeah, it's a good one to look up to for sure. That's a guy you want to model yourself after.
Yes, sir.
How about you guys? In the recruiting process, just trying to figure it all out, right? And see how with different schools and what fits and what doesn't.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that?
I mean, I don't really have no offers or no interest, but like from seeing him today, like the visit we took, I can see like most coaches is like a family, like it's just genuine love. Like that's what I want. Like when I start like getting offers and recruited, I just want to like look for like who wants me,
Sure.
where it fits me.
Absolutely. How about you?
Yeah, like you said, like where it fits me at, and but like not letting all the like hype and stuff get to your head, and stay focused, stay on the grind, cause at the end of the day we still trying to play football, go 16 championship.
Sure.
So,
yeah. No, and that's that's the mindset. I think you're smart to think about, hey, be where your feet are, right, and take care of business. If you do that, the rest of the stuff sort of takes care of itself, right? Be a great teammate, be a great student, all those things, and things sort of work out the way they're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Key one for you with everything you've got going on, what's sort of the timeline for you when you look at things? And ideally, it doesn't always work out the way we want it to in terms of the exact timeline, but if you could, how would you like to sort of whittle down number of schools and then ultimately make a commitment?
Okay, so I was thinking about during spring narrowing everything down, taking visits, talking to the coaches, and finding where I want to fit. And then I was going to be committed before the first game.
Yeah, I think it's smart, right?
Yeah.
And just that way there, if you have the opportunity to do that, I would encourage you to do that, just because you can sort of just be a kid, right? You only have that senior year one time, and to be able to sort of put that aside, lock that in, and then be able to focus on your team and your senior year, I think is a great thing. It makes a lot of sense. And why is TCU for you? Obviously, being close to home, right? I'm sure that helps. I would think, for sure. You got to make sure you go home, see mom, and it's a nice, be able to do laundry. I always tell, stay close enough where you can go home and do laundry, still a little bit of food, right? So, but still be away from home, right? That's always a good thing. I'm sure mom would appreciate it. I'll tell you a quick story. So, for me, I went to school close to home, and my mom that first year, she had tears running down. I was only going right down the road, right?
Yeah.
And that second year, I came back a little bit, had a little break in the summer, and she had my bags packed right to the door. She was rushing me out the door. I don't know what happened with those tears, but it's amazing once you get out of the house, kind of get on your own. But I think that's a smart thing to look at. But why TCU though? Why are they in the mix?
It's because I could see myself there, like building myself up, my brand, my likeness and image, and I could see me, having a good, successful career. But I'm still. That's for everywhere, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But TCU they're on my top of my list right now.
No, it's good. Did you have you watched any that got a chance to like talk about offense or sort of their style? Did you guys get into that today?
Yes, sir, a little bit with the Coach Jones.
Okay, all right. So tell me a little bit about that then.
They're heavy on the run the ball, so I like that. Then with me, they said they're gonna be Debo Samuel, like they picture me as like that type of back where I can catch and run the ball. So I feel like it's gonna be, a good place to be for my skill set. You know what I mean? So they just exploring different skill sets of each player, and I like that.
Awesome. Well, look, I hope that you do it. I know no matter where you go, you'll be successful. You guys as well. You guys got a good team coming back as seniors. I know you'll have a lot of success on the field. But want to let you, all three of you, know that you're always welcome here. Here at FrogsToday, you're welcome to come by anytime, and certainly the relationships that you have with the people from TCU, they're always in the building coming through. We've had old players come through as well. And key one, I know you're going to be extremely successful, you and your brother, no matter what you decide to do. But I hope it's in purple, so that'll help. But you look good in purple. All right. Well, good. Listen, I was really excited for you guys to come by and join us. The guys from Lancaster just came right down the road, finished up junior day today with TCU, and hopefully, like we said, we'll have them back in studio shortly in purple. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in today. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and check everything out on our YouTube channel as well as Frogs Today and FrogsToday.com. Till next time.
Roxo Media House.